Hello everybody. We have Quimby here. We've done her red and blue and primer layer. She is going to get her deep blue layer today, which helps give the 3D effect. So we're going to do all the places that you can see go in deeper, all the grooves and the eyes and the nose, and you'll see. So for this layer, we're of course going to need our blue, which I've already got mixed up here. Add a little bit more. Yeah. There's red and blue. If you don't get them translucent enough, you can wipe them off, but it will still leave a little bit of color, so. Let's see here. Matter of fact, you might be able to see. Oh, no, maybe I got it. You can see a little bit of bluing there. I accidentally spilled my blue here. As she fell over onto it, so it kind of. But no, I did a pretty good job of getting it. I used a baby wipe to. That's why I always have a baby wipe here, just in case. So. But you have to get it really quick. Okay, so we're gonna need a fine brush. Let me see where I like using this brush. It is a filbert brush for the creases. And then I use, oh, here it is. I like using this brush, which is a pointed oval wash brush, because that helps get the, when you're trying to, I'm getting stuff on Quimby. When you're trying to go from the middle out and kind of not just leave one straight line, you kind of want to leave that line that's going thicker to thinner, and this brush will do that, because as you lift away, then you have fewer and fewer bristles leaving it there. So I love this brush. And then I'll use probably this one. I have another pointed one, but I cannot seem to find it. Oh, here it is. Ooh, I think I need to get another one, because it's getting kind of. This is the 10-0 liner brush, and as you can see, it's kind of fraying a little bit. So I'm going to get it a little bit wet so that it takes on its. It's supposed to be like that. Okay, so those are the three main brushes I'm going to use. I'm also going to keep one of my mop brushes on hand just in case I need it. Oops. I have that here. Oh, there's my blue mop brush. You can tell that I have certain mop brushes I use for certain colors. This one I usually just use for red, but I think I've used it for yellow too, and that's why it's got kind of an orange tinge to it. I can't talk today, my mouth is so dry. Alright. So first we're going to do Quimby's head. I've already brushed off all the loose hairs and dust as best I can. I mainly try and focus on the neck and the face, because of course you're going to have hair here, so it's not going to matter as much. So unless you're planning on painting your hair, I haven't done much hair painting, so I'm not sure whether that would have any problems with that or not. So anyway, okay. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take just a little bit of blue, and we're going to just line the creases here. Do I need to move this lamp up? Oh. There we go. That's better. So you just want to pretty much follow the mold. Sorry, I got a black piece of speck of dust there. So I'm using my, what do you call it again? Pointed oval brush. And I'm going to go from here out like that. And here, well, I suppose to a certain extent you want that to do that a little bit there. Same with here, you're just going to slowly lift that up so that it just, and I'm just going to kind of blend that in a little bit because you don't want that line there. And same with this. Just blend it in a little bit. Hope you guys can see this well enough here. But I didn't have enough paint on that paintbrush right there. There we go. And so I hope everybody is having a good Thanksgiving today. Actually, I don't know if I will get this posted on Thanksgiving, but I'm making it on Thanksgiving. I am not cooking today, so there we go. Got something on there I couldn't get off. Okay. And the longer you leave it, pretty much the longer it's going to, I mean the darker blue, that's going to get in there. And we're going to do a few layers on this, so don't worry if it's not as, two things. If it looks bluer than you want it to be, don't worry. And if it's not darker than you want it to be, don't worry. Because we're going to add other colors onto this. We don't just do blue and leave it. We'll actually put some red in there, some blood red in there, a couple times of blood red. And now, actually, the filbert brush, and I'm just going to kind of get in here. Alright, I'm just doing the spots that I want to show depth. I'm not doing that line that I just did, I'm just doing to the side of it to just give that little bit of depth in there. So, you might be able to see, and you can kind of just barely see that this side is a little bit darker than this side. And remember, we don't want a big, huge difference. We just want just a shade of difference. Alright, now we'll come in here and do the side of the nose. And don't forget the little cleft, or whatever you call that thing. And put some in the nose. I got too much in the nose right there. I put a lot in there. Okay. And then I also put some right here too. Now this, I actually need this one for, because this we're going to kind of just shade out a little bit. Whoops. I kind of got a little bit more than I wanted to because I forgot that still had blue on it. So make sure you dry off yours. You get the paint off a bit before you do that. So I go around it like this, and then I draw it down here too. So you kind of get that depth there. Trying to do this really quickly because I left it for too long. Okay. And then I put it in the nose and just move it around a little bit so it gets the sides at the same time. Oops, and get my toothpick because I got a little tiny hair in this crease here. Actually, two. There we go. Okay. I'm going to put just a little tiny bit more blue on here because I let that, or the other side is a little bit darker than this one was. And make sure you're okay, there we go. I didn't have my brush wet enough, so it just made like a blue line. So just be aware as you're doing this that if you make a mistake, just go in and use your baby wipe. The baby wipes I use, baby wipes I use are the Huggies Natural Care ones because they're 99% water. So you want to be careful not to get any that have any kind of lotion or oil in them. Okay. Just putting on what I just took off when I did that. Alright, there we go. So now that's good. And see, her nostrils are gonna look a little bit blue right here. And that's okay, because that's gonna help us later on, because we're gonna want that to be more of a skin tone and less like red that's gonna be on the nose. Excuse me. So now we're going to the tricky part. I need another brush here. This actually is I don't know what it is, but I just kind of cut it the way I wanted it. It's kind of the ones I made myself. But what I want to do with this one is get inside the mouth without getting any more blue on the lips, because we don't want blue on the lips. And I got a tiny little bit right there, so I'll just rub it off. Alright. Then go ahead and take your filbert and go back in there and just get the excess up. If you can't, if you need to, you can squeeze the cheeks, and that's not going to hurt your doll at all, and go around that way. Her mouth doesn't, it helps a little bit, but not much, because her mouth is so small. So now let's go back. Now that I got some, oops, I got a hair on the end of my brush. I have 3 dogs. I have hair everywhere. Okay. I always put I do this double. I do 2 layers of it, I should say, when I'm doing, because you want this to be really, really dark. I'm just getting the blue off the lips. You want it to be really dark in there. Okay, and then, oops, I very, very lightly come back and do the lines on her lips. But I've got most of the paint off the brush when I do that. And I'm only going to do 1. And then I'm going to come back here and, or not 1, but like 1 side. And I do keep the regular amount of brush on, or a brush of paint on when I do the creases on the sides, because those you naturally want darker. And when I come down here, I go kind of around in a circle because you want that spot to have more depth. Goodness gracious. While I mix the paint and stuff, I put the air purifier on. I don't think I put it on for long enough. It's still air. And there's another thing I keep telling you guys we need to watch for is check to make sure you don't get a splatter of paint somewhere. As see, I just found 1 drop of it right there, teeny tiny drop. And it's easier to get off now than it is later. So, probably from when I was doing her mouth. Okay. Now the way I get most of the paint off of the paintbrush is I just dab it on the paper towel. And then I'm going to come in here and do the little tiny creases here. She's got really fine ones down below here. And I'm just barely brushing across to just lengthen those out and make sure that they don't look like just lines sitting there. And I also come down here and get the bottom of the lip down here. And I'll do right here again some more. And every once in a while, don't forget to mix up your paint. Alright, now I'm going to go in this crease right here and underneath the chin right here. And I'm going to get that oval brush again. And I'm doing this one first because I don't want this one as dark. I need this one more dark. So just let that kind of come down there. And you want these to come down to almost kind of meet it. Okay. And then we're going to do the creases on the neck. With your oval brush, because they're going to come out and want to go thin to the end. And just make sure and Blend that in a little bit so it's not just like you don't want a line coming out from there like that. You gotta remember to blend it in. And I know your baby looks a little undead or something now, but don't worry. She or he will not stay that way. Now on this crease, you don't want it such a fine line. So I just kind of go back and forth, and then you want to do that line at the end again. But this is a deeper crease. Whoopsie. Well, I'm just like not. I keep messing up today. But that's okay. And some of the stuff that I worry about, you may not need to worry about. If it's just for you, just make it however you want to. And it's your art, so make it however you want to anyway. But I am just very particular because, I mean, I sell these for $500-600+ so I want it to look nice. So I am just I'm a perfectionist basically, so that I can make sure I'm getting a good product. Just a minute, Abby. Alright, as soon as I get done with the head, I'm going to have to take a break again so I can go let my dogs out. But I'll just have her wait an extra minute because we're almost done here. Okay, now we're going to do the inside of the ear. Being careful not to get either of these two bumps. And we're going to take the fine brush, the liner brush, to get here. And then you can see as you get closer that there's a little bit of a groove here. So you want to make sure you get that too. And for this I use the filbert. And I just kind of, when I'm doing this crease right here, I kind of bring it up a little bit here too, because there's that depth there. And I bring the blue up on this back part of the ear. You mainly want it at the bottom of the ear, but you also want to bring it up a little bit. And I do this little fold in the ear right there, and I do the same thing on the sides. When I take it, I want to take and do up the sides a little bit. You don't want to go all the way up to the cartilage, but just enough. And blend those out. And this is another spot where we're going to do more than this. We're going to come through and put some more layers on this here. Okay. And the back of the ear, I notice it doesn't get as dark, like right here in the back of the fold, it doesn't get as dark as the rest of it does. For whatever reason. It's like the paint doesn't like to go as dark in that area, so I always put a little bit more blue up back here, and I just pull it out, and so that it, you know, blends out away from the ear to get that spot darker. I haven't picked up any more paint, but there's still going to be some paint on the brush, and I don't need it to be real dark here, but there's just enough still there that I can put a little bit of color on there. All right, then we'll do the other ear. Just a minute, Abby. She's actually being patient, which is totally not like her. Uh-oh. Okay, see, I just got some on there. Don't want it on there. Okay. I probably got more in the ear than what I needed to, so I just use this to bring it up. Abby, just a second. You're making me mess up, Abby. She's nudging my arm. She's like my Connor used to be. She waits until she has to go right now. Usually it's while I'm going to the bathroom. She comes in and bugs me and bugs me and bugs me like, oh yeah, by the way, I need to go too. And I need to go right now. Okay. I let that sit for too long or didn't put enough paint on it or something in it. Dried funky. Okay. Almost done, Abby. Oops. See how I did that? That's what you got to watch out for. I think I got too much on there. All right. I know, Abby, just a second. Just anywhere, like right here, there's a little tiny depression right there. So anywhere you see a depression, that's where you want to bring that in. Okay, so we're almost done. I just put a little bit of shading right here for the jaw. Put just a little tiny bit there. Just a little spot. Barely anything. Just so I can start to see that depression in there, or that, not depression, but the depth in that jaw there. Okay. We're almost done, Abby, I promise. So, the other spot we need to do it is right here on the temple. And right above the eyebrow. Like that. Oops, got too much on there. Just keep moving around until you get it. And if you need, you can take your... There we go. Kind of helps when it starts to dry and it's starting to make those lines or whatever, it kind of just buffs those out a little bit. And the last thing we need to do is the impressions in the skull. So this is her soft spot, so I'm just going to do a circle like that. I'll come in with a mop brush and just kind of blend it out a little bit. Let's see if you see any lines, just wipe them off with your brush. Or not with your brush, with your wet wipe, and then just brush it out. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is, I need to make sure I'm getting too much on this brush. So right here is a line in her skull. And I'm going to do those two. Whoops! Ah! There we go. So just making that line and then just brushing it out. There's going to be one back here. So there's one actually on either side here. Huh. I got more on that side than I did this side. And they're not really going to see this under the hair, but, well, they can a little bit, depending on how much hair you put on the baby. And part of this is is looking at the skull and seeing where the artist has put depressions or made, you know. And part of it is just where I know other dolls have put their lines. There's another one right there. That one got a little bit dark, but that's okay. There's one. Whoa. All right. Almost done, Evie, I promise. Now we just need to do this side. Not too much on there. That's okay. I'm gonna wipe a little bit of that off because I got too much on there. All right. And then all right, there we go. I'm actually going to put a little bit more here because this side isn't as dark as the other side is. And everything's not going to be completely uniform, but all right. And now we are done with the head. Oops. I got a line in there. And you may have to rub a little bit if it's dried some. And that's okay. If it still won't come out, you can take a wet toothpick and just lightly rub it. And then it will slowly come off. Just be careful how hard you press, because you don't want to remove all the paint. All right. Now, I'm just looking mostly at the hair on this. I know, baby. 2 more seconds, I promise. I'm just double checking to make sure there aren't a lot of pieces of lint on this that are going to stick in that paint. And mainly, again, just checking the head, because I gotta hurry because she's gotta go out. Okay. And there we go. And I hope that you had fun painting with me. I'm going to take a break and take the dogs out, and then I'll be back in a little bit and we'll do the arms and legs. See you in a bit. Hello everybody. Okay, I am back. It's actually the day after Thanksgiving. Or the deep spots we need to do blue. So, alright, now I am just, oops, outlining the little fingers here and all the little creases on the hands. So you want to make sure you get all the parts around the thumb. And yeah, any little creases here. And some of them are going to be easier than others, but and don't forget to get the paint off your brush here and there so you don't get too much blue on there. I'm just getting in that little nook and cranny. Oops. Oh yeah, that's that one spot that was there. Piece of dust in the vinyl or something. So again, all this deep blue parts, we're trying to get depth. And we'll come in many times to do in between the fingers. So if you don't think you're showing it, the shadow is dark enough, or as dark as you want it right now, don't worry about it because it will get darker. And again, I don't remember if I said this or not, but this is the one I am doing right now is the Quimby, which is limited edition. I don't know if they've still have any or not. I was kind of irked because I bought mine last March. Well, the end of February, beginning of March. And it took like 6 months for me to get it. And they said, oh, it's... Riley, get off. They said, oh, it's the limited edition, so you got to get it now. And 6 months later, when I got it, they were still selling it. I was kind of like, well, why did I have to hurry up and buy it then? I know it's something little, it just... something I didn't understand. I don't know if you can hear in the background, I got my Jeremy Camp on right now. I love Jeremy Camp. Well, his music anyway. Obviously, I don't know Jeremy Camp. Oops, Sandy. Okay, guys, hello. Sorry about that. My camera just stopped recording for some reason. So, I got up to the same point on this arm because I finished the other arm and leg. So if I go over some of the same stuff again, I'm sorry, but I'll try not to. Okay. Another thing I wanted to bring up that I do that I didn't actually do on the other arm and leg, I need to go back and do it, is I take and I get most of the paint off the brush, and then I go back and go do the, like, around the fingernail, just around. Let's see if I can put my other glasses so I can see what the camera's showing. Okay. Okay, so I'm just taking, get a little bit more paint on my brush here. And sorry if that focuses in and out, but hopefully you'll kind of be able to see. So I'm just going around the outer bed of the nail just to show that depth. There we go. And then I will go in this little brush and just get the excess paint out of there. And then I'll also, kind of hard when it's a closed hand, but if I can see the under, like the, okay, so like the point part of the finger, if I can see where the tip of the finger is, then I'll try and, okay, hold on, sorry, now I gotta get my other glasses so I can see better. Okay, so I'll try and see where the underside of that nail bed is, and then I will just put a little paint there too, because it helps, or like this nail right here, it's not going to be like this one. This one looks like it's longer than the nail like this. So I just did it kind of underneath. This one, the nail, it shows where the nail is and it's shorter. So I'll just go on the outside right there. And that is more really for your benefit. Around, whoopsie, sorry, around the nail bed right here, that shows the depth. And underneath here kind of shows the depth too, but I mostly do it because when I go back to paint the nails, it's easier for me to see where the end of the nail is supposed to be. So that's the main reason I do that. Okay. Now we're done with the hand and the lower arm. Let me get some excess paint off my brush here. Oops. I have some dust on there. Okay. So now we're going to go and we're going to do that spot right there and here, any creases. And there's no hard and fast rule. I mean, if you see a spot that there's a crease that you don't want to highlight it, then don't. And you don't have to highlight every crease either. I do mostly on the arms, but I don't on the feet, because there's so many. And your feet would be completely blue if you did that. And so I just mainly do the the deepest ones on the foot. There we go. And remember just to watch as you're going and take off any lint or specks of paint or whatever they are, so it doesn't settle in the paint. And I shouldn't have taken that long. Try and not leave your creases that long because you have such a small amount of paint. Let me turn this down a little bit. I don't know if you can hear me very well. Okay. You have such a small amount of paint in there, it dries really, really quickly. So you don't want to leave it for very long, otherwise it's just going to look like a blue line and it will look horrible. So, oops. There's, looks like I got a spot in there or something. There we go. Okay. So, just be aware of that stuff because it's a lot easier to take it off now, or even if it did dry in the paint, it's a lot easier to take care of it now than it is further down the line. Further down the line, you're going to have to actually go back and remove all the paint to fix things. So, I think that's in the vinyl. So just be aware of that, because it is so hard. It's not hard as in physically, but it's hard emotionally to go and just wipe the slate clean and start all over again, because you put so much time into these. There we go. Sorry guys, my computer died. Okay. Okay, so down on the bottom of the foot, we are not going to do very much down here. I gotta, there's something stuck in the paint here. Oh, maybe that's in the vinyl. Okay. Because you don't, we're gonna make I'm thinking I'm talking about, I forgot we're doing Caucasian, sorry. Still, you want to take a fine brush and do this, because otherwise you're going to get the tips of your toes all blue. I have done it. And I do underneath the toes, and then if you can see like the crease of the toe, like here underneath the toe right there, there's a line like right on under, I guess, the ball of the toe, I guess is what it would be called, maybe, I don't know. So I do that. I only usually do that once. The rest of it I'll go through as we're painting and do more, but it just needs a little bit. Alright. And then we're going to do just the deep creases, or where we want to highlight any depth. She's got a lot of deep creases on her feet. Oops. There you go. All right. Goodness gracious. I am really liking that the net thing that I have, the food thing that I have them in now. Hold on, just let me get this out of here and then I'll show you. Because I actually got both of my bottle things. And you see, like, these two, I didn't actually put any blue on, but I have some on my brush, so it's still showing that depth. So I might lightly go over some of them, but just not actually put the paint in. And this had some paint dry a little bit on me. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. And I'll zip it for a second so you can see. I am able to put, can you see all the way in there? I'm able to put both bottle dryers in there. So all of the babies that I'm working on that are drying are in there now. It's really nice. So, and now we're going to go and we're going to make this line like this, because we're going to have that blue on there. Eventually we're going to come in here when we do the veining and stuff, we're going to have that blue green line that kind of where the veining shows through. So I start kind of trying to do that with the blue now, and I'll do that on the side of the foot too, on the inside of the foot where there's usually that blue. And you can look at your own, a lot of this stuff you can look at your own body and see where your veins show through, and where the skin is thinner, like on your wrist, and you can actually see your veins, or you can see like it gets kind of more of a bluish tint there from all the veins that are there. So okay. I have, I think, 3 videos. No. Well, probably 2.5 videos done now that I gotta get up online. Alright. I'm gonna put just a little bit more blue right here. Right under the ankle where you usually get that too. Okay. And the nice thing about having this, which is the short liner 10-0, is you can get really fine lines because you don't want to use a big thick brush on like these, especially when you're doing like newborn babies and stuff. Or preemies. I wonder if I'm getting dust on my gloves. That's where I was just holding it. There was a whole bunch right there. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I will try not to sing because I am not a good singer. But sometimes I do it and don't realize it. So I like to rock out to my Christian music. Especially Jeremy Camp. I love Jeremy Camp. His music is amazing. But then I was one of the kids that liked hard rock when I was a teenager. Still do. Still love Bon Jovi and Metallica. Okay. So now we're gonna go, we're doing the top of the foot, and I just got done doing, oops, the ankle part. I mean not the ankle, the rolls on the feet there. And I'm just gonna do just a couple of these. And then this is the other side of the foot where it also gets that blue stuff. So now that I've kind of highlighted those a little bit, the deeper ones a little bit, I'll actually take and just kind of blend that in along that. And this Quimby, this sculpt shows really well. You can see where the depth is there, where she took out some of the vinyl, where your foot would normally have a little bit of an indent right there. So I think this is going to end up being one of my other favorite sculpts. I love Sandy and Levi, of course. Levi's by Bonnie Brown. I can't remember who Sandy's by. I can't remember who Quimby's by either. One of my other videos, I put it up on the screen. I think it was the primary layer video. And then I think it was Mandy, the one that I couldn't think of, that I keep calling Holly, because that's what my mom named her. As I made her for Christmas, so she called her Holly. She called her Holly Noel. So, alright, now we're going to move on to the toes, the upper part of the toes. And we're just going to follow all of the lines here. Try and just, you don't want to completely like fill the crevice, because you don't want to have that overdone here. If you put too much in there, you're going to get blue all over the insides of the toe. And that would not look very natural. I gotta go bake when I get done with this. My friend's having a Friendsgiving today. So I'm gonna take, I got this s'mores brownie kit from the store, and it worked really good because I don't want to eat a lot of sweets, but I really want to try it. So I'm gonna make it and then take it. So I'll get to try it, but I won't eat the whole thing. Oops, sorry. Like I said, I just automatically do it sometimes and don't even realize it. Alright. So anyway, it's a s'mores brownie. So I think it's like a gingerbread crust, and then the brownie, and then you put marshmallows on top of that, and then I think there's chocolate sauce that goes on top of it too. And oh, it looks so good. She was actually the friend whose house I'm going to. She's actually kind of the first person I felt comfortable with meeting in person for the first time and being able to talk about Jesus, because she was having a hard time, and just the Holy Spirit led me, and I said, do you believe, I said, can I ask you a personal question? Do you believe in Jesus? And just kind of let the Holy Spirit speak through me, and it was amazing. She was like, I've been thinking about that. And I was like, cool. Sometimes, especially right now, you get so scared, of people thinking you're, I don't know, whatever. But plus you don't want to like offend people, but it's getting to the point where we kind of have to, as if we don't, they're not going to be here, or excuse me, we're not going to be here, they're not going to be in heaven, is what I meant to say. Okay, now I'm going through and finding sections that I want, where there's depth, like these little bumps, or whatever you want to call them. Not bumps, but these little spots on the thigh where there's more fat and it leaves little indents. See if you can see right there, you can see there's two kind of lines right there. So a lot of the shading is just about looking and seeing what the artist, was trying to do with it, the sculpture. And also with me, I just kind of, it seems kind of, I don't know if it seems silly, but I listen to the Holy Spirit, and it just like kind of just tells me where I should do it. And you think that, well, that's not important to God, but everything we do is important to God. And especially if we're trying to use it to glorify Him and bring others, which is one of the things that I would like to do with this channel, is show, you know, Christianity and the love of Christ. And if you guys, if that offends you, you can go on and watch another channel. But it's important to me right now to do that, because we're getting close to the rapture, and we need to get as many people on board as we can. Because I would hate to, especially with somebody that I know, for them to be left here, especially if there's something I could have done to change that. You know? I would hate for that to be the case. And part of that sometimes, like with my kids, I don't have a relationship with them. And so I just have to pray for them. And that's all I can do. And if that's all you can do, then that's what you should be doing. Sometimes that's just all you can do. And not having a relationship with them is not what I want. I told God the best Christmas present in the world. There's 2 Christmas presents I want. 1 is the rapture, and 2 is my kids. But I'm hoping that when the rapture happens, I will have my kids. So I pray for them a lot, and that's the case. I'm just putting more blue on here. It's not as blue as I want it so far. Okay. I think that's about it. Oh, and then also I do a little bit right around the flange, or whatever you want to call it. Oh, I almost forgot to do the toenails here. Just try and take off some of the paint, because you don't want to leave a whole bunch of paint in there and turn your whole nail blue. As we get done, those are going to be a pretty pink. And if we get lots of blue on them, it's kind of hard to make them pretty pink. And then I just kind of, just barely dab it, because I don't want to blend it too much, because that's going to make the nail blue. And then I will go underneath the toes. And if I can't see where the indentation would be for the end of the nail, then I just try and... Sorry, my nose was itching. Then I will just look at it and see where I think it would be, and then just put it there. Because you won't really be able to see it that much, because you're going to have white on the tip, well, not white, but kind of like an off-white on the tip of your nails, so you're not going to really see it that much. Oops. I got spots on my toe for some reason. Sometimes they just appear, I think. There. Alright. So, that's, now we're done with that blue layer. I already did the video for the deep parts of the, or the depth parts, the depth layer, excuse me, of the stomach. So I will add that on to the end of this video for you guys. Oh, one other thing. I do try and go on here. Usually they have more lines on the back of the foot. But I will go on there and make sure and do those too. And then when we go in and do the fat layers, I'll use the purple in there too, and I really like the way that looks. Alright, now we're done. Okay. Well, I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I will either see you on the next video or see you in heaven. Hopefully in heaven, but we'll see. I would love to spend Christmas in heaven. That would be amazing. Okay. If you have any questions or prayer requests, put them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys. Bye-bye. God bless. Okay, so I was just about ready to put this leg away and realize there's one thing I forgot to tell you. So, the calf muscle back here, I highlight that. So usually there's an indentation where you can see. If not, then I just go from the knee crease down and in right above the ankle, and then I do the same thing on the other side, just to kind of give that more definition. So, and that's it. Bye bye, guys. Hey guys. Okay, so I just realized I forgot to include if you guys have a stomach. Now this is not going to I don't have one of these for the African American babies, so I'm not going to be doing a stomach for an African American baby, because basically it's the same thing. The only difference is the shadowing, and I'm about ready to show you that right now. So just know that if you're doing an African American stomach, you're going to darken with all the colors. When you're supposed to shadow, you're going to do exactly what I'm doing right now. Not always with the same color, because sometimes as we get further along we'll shadow with brown and stuff. So, or different shades of brown, I should say. So I just got done putting the blue layer on the stomach, and man, I swear the sculptors did an amazing job on this stomach. It is just, even though it's only got 2 layers on it, it's already looking so real, and I haven't even done the shading yet. So okay, I also want to remind you, when you're doing stomachs, to make sure whenever you're coloring your vinyl, you're also getting the edges, because you don't want this sharp change on the edge that is like you have this beautiful Caucasian or African American color, and then on the edges you just have cream. That would look kind of funny. So, and usually on pictures that doesn't show, but it might, you know, show a little bit. So I just err on the side of caution and just, every layer I do on the abdomens, I do on the sides also. So I just made myself some new blue, because I haven't been in here painting in a couple of days. So I'm going to do a good mix in that again. I had it all pre-mixed. I'm just making sure as I was sitting here that it didn't, you know. Okay. There we go. See my clean area? I just redid this all yesterday and put down what I have down here. I forgot to mention to you guys, I think I forgot to mention it, is a puppy pad. And they are absolutely amazing for this. They're the perfect size and they're cheap, and so, and then I always lay down a paper towel too. Just because I need something to wipe my brushes and my little makeup things off on, and when you do that on these, it tends to get little fibers on them. So, alright, so what you're first going to do is kind of look around at your abdomen and see what parts you want to, I'm thinking highlight, but it's not really highlight, but what parts you want to show the depth. So any creasing, I have another one over here. Let me grab it. This is one I've done a few more layers on. It's not done, obviously, but this is it's either, I don't think it's Sandy's stomach. I think it was I want to call her Holly because it's what my mom named her before she passed away. Oh, I thought I had everything in here. But I'm looking to see if I can find her papers. I can't remember it. Okay. Anyway, this is her abdomen, and she's more of a toddler. You can see the size difference. So I can't even. Okay, I can't even fit them both on the screen here. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. So there's the difference. So newborn and more of a toddler, like 9 months. So zoom back in here. I love her little fat rolls here. Okay. But you can see too, the creases are amazing on here. And you can see the depression here on the sculpt and here. But you can't, but on here, you literally see, and maybe it's just the difference between newborn and 9 months old, because newborns tend to be skinnier, but you can see like the depth of the sternum here, and you can kind of see like the rib cage right here. It is just absolutely amazing. So I'll try and look up what I get pretty much all my stuff from I want to say Finnegan's. It's not Finnegan's. McPherson. But so I'll try and put in a not a link, but like a little thing down here. All right, down. I'm trying to get where I'll put it somewhere on the screen. It's hard to look at the screen and be able to point. There we go. Actually, I'll probably put it somewhere over here. Anyway, I will put in the item number and the description, or not description, but like the title or whatever, for this abdomen, so that you can know which one it is. But I believe this is the one that came with Quimby. I'm almost positive. I know I got it to go with Quimby, but I don't remember if it was actually for her, meant for her or not. But anyway, so now we're going to do our shading. And I'm going to, I got myself a new brush from Dollar Tree. These are their makeup brushes. I love these things. Okay, and I need I'm debating on which brushes I'm going to use. Okay. So I'm going to use my filbert to actually put on the colors here. So there's a couple little creases here. And I'm using my pointed oval wash brush so I can kind of get those ends that are pointed. Lay down, Evie. She picks the most unopportune times to have to go to the bathroom. Lay down. I'll take you out in a few minutes. Lay down. Lay down. Down, Evie. Good girl. Okay. So, did that. I'm going to come over to this side and get these two creases. Okay. And then I'm going to come in and right here, there's this area right here of depression from the collarbone. And then I'm just going to take my pouncing brush right on the edge and just kind of blend it in. And sometimes I'll do this work because this still has paint on it, so sometimes I'll just turn it on its side and just kind of make sure it's completely blended in there. All right, and we're going to do right here, like the armpit area. Oh. Have you guys been seeing everything that's going on? Oh, I'm sure you guys are. I've seen everything that's going on in the world today. I hope you guys are saved because I would not want to be left here with what's going to happen. If you want to know what's going to happen, just open up a Bible and start reading, because I have some cousins and at least one of my kids that were Christians as a child but have drifted away from that. So I pray for them a lot because I don't want to think of them having to be here and what they're going to have to go through. Here I'm getting underneath the ribs there. And it doesn't really show it, but I know that the ribs are going to kind of come up here a little bit, so I'm just kind of there we go. Everything that's going on right now, all of the madness is basically going to get about 100 times worse. 100 times worse after after the rapture. So, yeah, I can't even imagine. That's when it's called, what Christians call the rapture. I mean, excuse me, the tribulation period. It's going to be for 7 years. That's when the Antichrist is going to come and rule. I'm just finding any little depressions here and just highlighting those. This is the belly area here. The side belly area. Anyway. So, I hope you guys are saved. If you're not and you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. I'm not an expert. But, I'm... Anybody who reads their Bible will tell you, every time you read your Bible, you find new things that you didn't see before. And I've never read the Bible completely all the way, but I've gone to church most of my life with with relatives. All of my adult life I've gone to church. But now, even after all this time, it's like now I'm really, really, really starting to understand the Bible, which is an amazing feeling. Okay, I think I want to have it this at the bottom of the sternum. I think I want to have it a little darker there, because that's going to have more depth. There we go. Okay. And then don't forget to do another, to do another layer on the edges when you get done. Just because the edges where they are, they're going to have a shadow on them anyway. Especially down under the armpit. I actually love doing the abdomens. I just find them very fun to do. And all kits aren't gonna, well, I don't think any kit actually comes with the abdomen piece. I'm not sure, but most likely you'll have to buy it separately, and you want to make sure that you buy the right one for the age and the size of the kit you're working with. Just getting a little bit more depth here. Oh, I forgot to get underneath the nipple area too. Okay. Anyway, I've been praying for my cousins and my kids a lot because and especially my kids, I want them in heaven with me. It's hard enough right now not having them with me, but to not have them for eternity would be horrible. So, and remember, if you put any prayer requests in the bottom, then I will pray for you or for whoever you put the request in for. And oh, I don't know. I'm sure other people watching will pray for you too. Okay, now I'm going to do right around the umbilical cord. Or belly button, actually. It's not really an umbilical cord. Yeah, they have, you can get, I don't know how. I've never seen them for sale, I don't think. I think people just make them or something. I don't know. But some people put a magnet in here and then get the little stub from the umbilical cord, and then they can magnetize it on here so they can take it off. Alright, I'm just taking the brush and just highlighting whatever you want to call it, all the creases where the umbilical cord goes. What in the world's going on with you guys? One of the dogs just jumped up. And where the crease is in the belly button right here, I usually do a couple times. And then we'll also go over it again as we do shading and stuff too. And remember, once we get to, unless you're watching the Caucasian videos, once we get to a certain point, which I believe is right after this here, let's see. Yeah. So, right after this, this will be the last video that you do, whether it's, no matter what the Caucasian. After this, it changes. So with the Caucasian, we'll go ahead and do the yellow. Or excuse me, we'll do the yellow highlights for the Caucasian, and then we'll do all over yellow for the African American, because we need that yellow all over to make the brown kind of color. So, the brown shades, I should say. So, Notice I got it a little bit more blue on this side than over here, so there we go. So that is our abdomen. Here, let me. There we go. There's our abdomen. All done with our second layer. And already just those, or actually our third layer, just those 3 layers have already given it so much life. Oh, one more thing I did forget is like right around the nipples here and the middle of it. Go. None of my videos are going to be doing any of the anatomically correct parts because I just don't really want to do those parts. And I don't think YouTube would allow it. I'm not sure if they'd allow it anyway. But it's just not my thing to want to make those areas. So, or that area, excuse me. So, anyway. But there we go. I hope this helps you out. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.